the one other thing that we want to talk about definitely today is that retirement piece. Like most people, because of extended time in training, you're playing catch up a little bit. So there's a lot of savings that you need to do in order to be in a good position to retire at an age when you want to retire and also to be able to maintain your lifestyle. Because the goal is not to get to retirement and then have to cut back because we want to make sure we have enough money. Like that's not the goal at all. So in general, when we're working with people that are just getting into their first job out of training, we encourage them to try to save at least 20% or maybe even more of their income for retirement. And that does a couple of things. It allows you to play a little bit of catch up to save more because obviously we haven't been able to save quite as much as we would probably have hoped over the last 10 years. But it also gets you all used to living on a little bit less of your income. Like it helps to control that lifestyle increase if you're saving a good chunk of money. And we want to make sure that we're doing it strategically as well. So we're not just throwing money in the stock market and seeing what happens. Like we want to make sure that you're saving into those tax advantaged accounts. So if you have an employer plan that's available to you, there's a lot of tax advantages to those. There's tax advantages to things like Roth IRAs, which might be a little bit more difficult to fund or maybe even impossible, depending on your income, but definitely something worth exploring, like with an advisor or a CPA, just to see what you can do there. And then beyond that, like 20% is a pretty big number of a high income. So you may have to do some additional savings outside of that too, like just setting up a general investment account. And when we're looking at these numbers, we're also looking at everyone's income. Like it's your household income, it's you, it's your partner if you have a partner, and it's 20% of that gross number. And that probably will be a big number, but do the math, figure out what it is and what you need to be saving per month and just have that in your mind as a benchmark. And then you can kind of reverse solve around like what are your goals? And you can look at it in more detail also. But I think that's just a good number to have in your mind.
Yeah, it's a great starting point. For most physicians, you're really not getting your first real jobs until your early to mid 30s. Some exceptions. And most of you, therefore, aren't really starting your retirement savings until your early to mid 30s. Some people get it going early in training, but for most of you, we're not starting until our 30s. If you don't want to work until you're in your 70s, this is what's going to help get you on that right track to achieve financial independence.